So I'm supposed to be filming demos of gears so that you guys can like know what it sounds like and stuff. But instead, I'm gonna procrastinate that by posting like a tedious technical video instead. So this is a new thing that I built. It's another Sun distortion pedal. So it's got gain and then a tone stack at the top. So I believe it's high, medium, low. It's not labeled. Um, and then inside, you could see I shielded the plastic enclosure, which gives it such a cool look. It looks so cool. But yeah, it's got the same sun boards that I've been putting in all kinds of stuff. Um, and yeah, the way that it is set up is 2 stages of amplification using these LM386 amplifier chips. So the first stage is variable, I believe, from 0 to 100, and the other one is fixed at 20. So with an input volume, right? Yeah, probably. Or an output volume. It's one of those. It's been a while since I made the schematic, but what that means is that it's variable between 0 times gain and I believe 4,000, which means it gets pretty loud. it gets pretty crazy, and you can get some really interesting effects. Honestly, it was hard to test it when I was designing it because if you give it a sine wave, it comes out like completely obliterated. But it was, you know, it's more fun with like a instrument with more complex input. But like I said, I'm procrastinating on doing an actual demo. All of the stuff that I build is always very experimental because I love trying new things. So yeah, so this has that shielding on the inside, which I haven't done for everything I've made with the plastic enclosure, but I will now because it works really well and because it's really cool. It's like NASA. I always feel like NASA shit when I'm working with the metal tapes. Um, a couple of things I wanted to note. The bottom part is also plated with the same copper tape, but then it has a layer of like just tape over it um, to protect it from shorting. These are all negative-sided caps anyways, but still, I thought it's best practice, right? I was a little. I also was thinking, like, is that going to make capacitive issues a thing? But I don't think so because it's all grounded. And the way that I made it, so it has. You could see just barely this like strip of light at the top is copper that goes over the edge, and then the same thing is on the lid, so that when it actually is installed, it does make a solid electrical connection from the front to the back. So the grounding works pretty well, which is exciting because that's always a fucking nightmare when you're using 3D printed enclosures. I love metal. I love metal enclosures. Since I made this circuit board, actually, I've gotten better at it, and I'll put a ground plane on my boards, which does help a lot. It does help a lot, especially for audio, and like noisy garbage, like the stuff that I make. Um, what else? What else? Oh yeah. So one of the experiments was you could clearly see a smudge because I was trying like using my letter stamps with like my hammer stamps um to try to put some like lettering on it with ink. I used nail polish because that works well for metal, but it didn't work at all, and it just like kind of sunk in there. So I'm either going to ignore it or um actually do a stamp, but take the whole thing apart so I can put wood backing, a block of wood on the back to keep it from just shattering. Um, or the old reliable of printing out, well, stamping out labels on like a. I have a little label. I have a label printer somewhere, and that's what I use most of the time. But then I have to glue. I have to glue the labels onto it because the adhesive backing is garbage. Because of course it is. So yeah, the green machine. The green machine. I thought about putting a green light, but it has a. It's got an orange light. I'll prove it. Yay! When I when I made it originally, there was a really bad short because just like the way that it, I guess the way I put it together, ended up shorting the input jacks or whatever. But I'm ooh, I made this so it has so many. It has two protection diodes, because somebody other than me is gonna do an even better job at trying to blow this thing up, and I wanted to protect them from themselves. So you could plug anything into this and it'd be fine. It won't like work, but it won't explode, which is cool. And I mean, I fixed there's shit on my there's shit on that shelf that is still broken that I've had for a while because it had a reverse power supply and it got so fucked up. It got so fucked up. But yeah, sound demo at some point. It's hard to test it with like a sine wave, because it just obliterates it. So I'll plug a guitar, I'll plug a bass into it, and we'll rip, and we'll see what happens. But that'll come some other time because I don't feel like it. But yeah, let me know if any questions. Bye.